Who has never been on this call before? Look at the baby. Oh my God, she's getting so big.
It's my first time.
Hi, your phone is coming up as LG.
Yes, I don't know how to change the name, but it's Lily.
Hi,
Pamela invited.
and who invited you, Pam?
Yes.
This is my friend Lily.
Hi, Lily. Nice to meet you.
Me too. I'm
There
looking
you
for
are.
the note. So, nice to meet y'all.
Look beautiful. Thank you.
Thank
We're excited
you.
to have you, Pam. Thanks for inviting her.
Yes, I'm so glad you came.
Thank you. Yes, I don't know how to change my name on there, so yes.
I bet you Pam could walk you through that at some point. Okay, so Ashley's coming back in a minute. All right, I'm going to jump in. It's a small group, which is perfect. Sometimes it works out just that way, but it's going to take some thinking and some participation. So we're at the end of the first quarter. Woohoo! We made it. It's spring. Made it through the winter, made it through the holidays. We all survived. But what are we looking at for our business? Let's do a checkup. Anybody want to share on where their business is at? Quiet.
Okay, I'll be real honest. I haven't done as much as I would have loved to have done this last quarter, but I also have a lot of changes coming up and I'm working on moving to Florida and getting my license there. So I've really been focusing a lot of my attention lately on being prepared to hit the ground running when I get there.
So thank you for being honest, and you're always vulnerable and you always love to jump in and give us, what's really going on. Can I ask you some questions?
Sure.
Thank you. Have you lost business? Have you, has it gone somewhere else?
No.
Okay.
I just don't think I've really spent as much time. Just to break it down and be real with you, I haven't really done as much lead gen as I need to. And it's not that I've done horribly, and I've had plenty of new people come my way just out of the blue. But as far as really reaching out and generating new business on my own, I haven't done a whole lot of, mainly because I'm like, why do I want to do that when I'm getting ready to leave? I don't want to get a whole bunch of new listings and then be leaving them. So
there is potential income that's lost there.
Yeah,
not wanting to get new listings. So leverage, which is what you and I have talked about for a long time now. Oh, the baby's back. Actually too, but we're acknowledge the baby. So we talk about leverage. So is there a way to leverage someone? Are we looking for someone to fill the bench for that? We have another baby there. For someone to fill the bench so you can go with your move and have your clients still coming in and under your team?
Yes, absolutely. And that's I'm working on that right now.
Okay, good. I love that. Absolutely love that. Who else wants to share before we jump in with what Ashley is going to talk about?
Hey, good morning, Peggy. It's Peggy Page. Sorry.
Hi, Page. That's okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting ready for my day. I know I'm a slacker because it's after 9 here. And I know you guys are just really, pushing it at 6 a.m. I apologize.
Don't apologize. You're good.
Yeah. You know what? I feel like, have you ever met people who are, you meet them and you go, wow, they are just really ADHD because they're all over the place. And yesterday I sat down and I did like my first 3-month review on my business and where was I, where am I going, all those kind of questions. And I realized, that funnel that we talk about, I have not been pushing into the top of it. So I can't sit here and go, wow, your business is not doing as well as it should be, because it's all about pushing it into that funnel. And for me, I had to realize yesterday I listened to the YouTube video, and if anybody that's on the call has not listened to it, it's 20 minutes. It's not Mike Del Preti, who has been at the EXPCon several times. He's a statistics guy, and he was at Inman last week, and he did it. It's called Propaganda. And it's about how these companies, and we do it too as salespeople. You look at how can I position these numbers to make me look like I'm better than I am, basically, or the competition is not as good as they are, whatever it is. But
Mhm.
in that 20-minute video, at the 7-minute mark, he goes into where EXP is versus the other people as far as their cash that they made last year. And EXP, we don't have much debt at all. And
Right.
None.
I don't
that's
have any. Yeah.
yeah, that 7-minute mark
Hmm.
was so enlightening to me to say, why in the heck am I not doing lead generation? Because we are sitting here waving this flag of we are the kingpin. Other than Zillow, there is no other company that did the cash flow we did last year.
I'm so glad you brought this up. Thank
And
you.
it's like,
Thank
for
you.
me, I internalized that, Peggy, and I said, I'm worried about this sales funnel, sales funnel, sales funnel, and I really need to make this other funnel of priority of lead generation because we are going to get to that 100,000 mark soon. And I want to be part of that, but I also want to be part of this big push with, partnering and things like that, that every single turn EXP is giving us every opportunity to do lead generation and agent attraction. And
Mhm.
I'm just not taking advantage of it. And I'm kicking myself. Here it is March, and it's that funnel is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking in sales just because of our market, but I need to shift. So there you have it. That's my preach. I'm getting off the soapbox.
I'll tell you, that is a perfect lead into what we're going to talk about today. But thank you for being honest and vulnerable. And again, when you really look at your business, and Ashley and I said we've really got to talk about it at the end of the first quarter here, you own your business. But before we jump into it, I just want to give a shout out to Michael up there. He's got his little baby. You want to introduce your baby? We love this Wake Up Wednesday extended family.
Oh yeah, this is Scarlett Garvin or Scarlett Alexander Garvin.
And how old is she?
She is 5 months.
Welcome, welcome. So
Yeah.
Ashley's got her baby on, and Nicole
Mhm.
sometimes pops in with hers, but we love it. And Annie usually brings her her granddaughter on. So it's Wake Up, Bring the Family. Speaking of Wake Up, Bring the Family, we've got 2 slots open on our retreat. I am happy to say that Brad just committed and he's going. So I've got Brad, Peggy, and Pam on this call that are going, and there's other people that are. If you want to go, please reach out to me. But Ashley and I were talking, and we always have a little huddle on what's going to be the best topic. And we've had some great speakers lately. And we're like, okay, how can we pull things together? What's the most important thing right now that agents need to know? And Ashley said, this is their business. They own it. And if you don't understand that you really own a business, then I seriously suggest you take some really good notes. If you know that you own a business, which it wouldn't hold up in court if you had to stand in front of a judge and prove that you own a business. So Ashley, you are the numbers person. You deep dive. Jump right in.
Well, so when I say that, I'm specifically referring to the attraction and rev share opportunity. So how many, I know not everybody's on camera, but has anybody in the room today, I don't see Samia yet, but how many of you have owned a brokerage before? Anybody ever owned your own brokerage? Pam, is that you raising your hand? Yeah. It's not the same as being an agent, is it?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's what most people are missing in the way that they approach attraction, is that it is literally, the EXP opportunity is literally you owning your own brokerage within a brokerage. You have the opportunity to own your own brokerage within a brokerage. Your organization is as if you own your own brokerage, because that's the difference in the EXP opportunity, in that corporate is completely national, right? All states, Canada, international, global, all the things. And so the leverage that they have and the power that they have to provide the staff and the systems and, you know, all the things that you need to run and operate a brokerage are focused there. There's no way that they can focus on retention. And so that's what kind of led me to this, is the conversation that Susan had last week. Retention is a dirty word for a lot of people, and no one really knows what that means or how to do it well and what that looks like. But it's the number one issue when you run a brokerage, is that you do all this work to get an agent, and then how do you keep them, right? And so with EXP, not only is it that you have the opportunity to own your own brokerage, but you didn't have to buy into it, right? So Pamela, how much did you spend to run and operate your own brokerage?
Sorry, my computer is not working today, so I'm trying to figure out how to do this on my phone. I'm actually a really bad example of that, Ashley, only because I was only open for about 4 months, and I had brokered somebody else's company and then opened my own, and 4 months later found out we were moving. So, you know, my numbers are not going to reflect what would truly go into keeping that, you know,
That's
business
okay. But
going.
typically you're buying into a franchise, or you're investing in a lease or some sort of tangible, you know, it's minimum $25,000 for a franchise fee, right? If not, you need at least 50 grand of operating income to cover your expenses for 6 months until you get people producing, things like that. It's not a cheap investment, right? And literally all you had to do was join EXP as an agent, and now you have this brokerage within a brokerage opportunity. And I think that's what most people don't really appreciate, is that you didn't have to spend a bunch of money. You didn't have to go, you know, set up bank accounts and get E&O insurance and, you know, have websites with IDX and REITs feeds and all the things in the background that it takes to run and operate a brokerage. And so that's the most, you know, financial, it's the biggest tangible financial savings that you have by being at EXP and not having to go do it on your own. But the intangible is that you don't have to deal with that day to day, right? And so the day to day of supporting you guys from a brokerage standpoint, think about how many questions you have. Think about how many issues you as an individual have, and now multiply that by 90,000. Okay. It is one of the hardest. I have my MBA in finance. I've worked in other industries. I've seen other businesses. Okay. Real estate is not the same. Most other businesses can have a tangible calculation on how much it takes, how much time, support staff, costs, whatever, to support a client, right? Or they know what it takes to spend time with, and their customer service costs them. They know exactly what it costs them, because you go to the doctor once a year, twice a year. They know, hey, this is how much time they spend in the office with you, and so this is what our time is worth. And this is, you know, so and so has to call you for an appointment reminder or whatever. It's very tangible, okay? Because there's short interactions. You go to Starbucks, you're there for 5 minutes. They know what that takes, right? They know what the cost of sales is from their materials to make that drink and to pay their people. That is literally impossible with brokerages. Like, there is literally no way that anybody could tangibly calculate how much time, energy, and effort it takes to support one agent, because it's constant. It's all day, every day. It's weekends, it's nights. You always have something going on. And so, and I don't mean you literally, but collectively, there are always agents that need help. And it's really hard to tangibly understand how to support them. And so I say all of this to lead up to, that makes it really hard for corporate to be responsible for retention. Because guess what? The relationship is with you. You are their person. You're the reason that they came. They didn't necessarily come. Yes, EXP provides a ton of value and they came for that, but they also came for you, to be in business with you. And that's why I feel like, sorry, the baby just finished her bottle and dropped it. That's why I feel like people don't understand and appreciate how incredible the opportunity is, because all you have to do in your brokerage within a brokerage is support and maintain the relationship and make sure they know where to go get the support for their actual transactions and commissions and technology website, whatever it is. Right. And that's why we Peggy and I focus so much, and Peggy does most of it. I just show up pretty much at this point. But getting you guys speakers on, what's happening at corporate, what's new, what's changed, what's available to you, because that is what keeps people here is when they're plugged in. And that's your job that corporate couldn't possibly do for you at a very hyper local level, right? That would require far more staff from them. And then we lose the opportunity to be, to have rev share and do all the things, because they wouldn't be able to sustain that model. And so I say that to say how important it is to treat it like a business, to literally sit there and make a business plan for rev share, for attraction, make your goal for attraction. What is your monthly revenue that you want to get to? Because if you're not, we know how many times have we had Jean on and said, write your goals down, right? And then I back it up with share your goals, because if you don't share them, you're less likely to achieve them, because nobody's going to be asking you and holding you accountable to that. So one of the things that I don't think, I hope I'm right, because I wasn't on the entire time last week, but I'm pretty sure that Susan didn't go into this type of detail on one of the things that's available in my EXP. So I'm going to share screen because I think this is super important. And so if you log into your myexprealty.com, okay, and you go to notifications, did she talk about this last week? Does anybody remember if she talked about notifications?
Just do it. Even if she did, it's a good reminder.
Okay. So in the notification section, under recognition, okay, this is where you can see all of the details of who's an FLQA for you. You can literally send them a card if you want to. There's a link to a vendor that will connect and show you the cards. Okay. And so once you click on the recognition, so there's two different things you can do here. You can click here to send gifts, and it takes you to this amcards.com, and they've got all kinds of different things that you can do, but you can send a card, you can do whatever. And when you think about the value of an FLQA, right, and unlocking your levels, spending, $5 on a card is worth the ROI there, right? Because you're more than getting that back in your rev share. Especially now with the new rev share system, in the fact that you're getting $5,000 for a capper in year one for your FLQAs, right? So it's far more valuable than it ever was before for that bonus that they have right now. So you can send the gift and it connects and it'll have all their information and everything, or you can click recognition. And this little pop-up on the right-hand side comes up with their phone number and their email address. Okay. And the reason that even if you don't do the gift, right, you don't have to do a gift. But the reason that the phone number and the email are so important is that you can literally click the button and it will allow you to connect your phone, which I don't have. I have this a brand new computer, so I don't have anything connected. Or you can, click the email. It'll take you to your email, and you can send them an email saying congratulations, right? Congratulations on your transaction. You had an FLQA. You're important to me. You matter. And I say that sending an email is probably less valuable because I don't know, people don't read emails anymore. And I've probably said this 100 times, but only 17% of emails are open nowadays, whereas 98% of text messages are read. 98% of text messages. So sidebar, if you're not texting in your lead management and follow-up, than you should be, because emails are a dying breed. But if you just click on that button and say, there's their phone number, and you send them a quick text that says, hey, congrats on your transaction. That is far more valuable. That makes them feel seen. That makes them feel appreciated. That makes them feel valued. Like, especially because we're a virtual company, right? We don't get to walk in the office and see, oh, hey, so-and-so had a closing on the board this week, and congratulate them in the kitchen, right? Because we can't all be together in the same place. So that is even more important for you guys to reach out and recognize your people, because they're not getting the warm and fuzzies from corporate, right? Think about when EXP didn't exist, and whatever brokerage you were in before, you would go in for your monthly sales meeting or your weekly sales meeting, and there were awards and certificates and things that, were really important, that it was like, oh my gosh. And that's what salespeople want. That's what they need. Their ego, right? They need that, that itch scratched to say, I'm really good at this, right? And I'm better than somebody else. And they're not going to get that on a national scale, international scale, from their state broker, or let alone from Glenn Sanford, right? And
Right.
so that's your job as a broker owner within a brokerage, is to focus on connecting to your people and staying connected to them. And so that's one of the ways that you can literally once a week, once a month, come over here to notifications, go to recognition, and make sure that you're recognizing your people for their production, because they're not going to get that at EXP. And that's really hard when you're a salesperson who thrives on things like that and needs that type of, attention. And I don't say that negatively, like, we all need attention. We all, some more than others, right? But that one thing alone, and then the way that you take it a step farther is, even if you don't do the phone or the email, okay, I want you guys to think about this, because I just had this epiphany a couple years ago about retention in the way that social media has changed, right? And so when you text someone, that's cool. It's better than nothing, right? It's free, comes with your phone plan, doesn't cost you anything. You can send an email, it's free, it doesn't cost you anything. They probably won't read it. But if you just looked at that person's name and you went and found, you should be friends with everybody in your life, right? But if you're not, and you went and found them on Facebook or found them on Instagram or wherever, and you made a post, a public post to their page that said, congrats on your transaction, congrats on being on a qualified agent, congrats on whatever the thing is, okay? Your closing last month, because you can also go into your rev share and see just who had closings, let alone did they become an FLQA for you or not, okay? So if you went to their Facebook and you posted just a quick thing that said, congratulations, now guess what? Every single one of their Facebook friends is seeing that recognition. Think about 10xing that opportunity, instead of just you texting them individually and they're the only ones that know that you recognize them. If you went and posted on their social media page instead, how much more value would that have to them? Because all of their friends are seeing that, all of their buddies are seeing that. And then you tag people in your upline, because now all of a sudden they're getting tagged, or Jean's getting tagged, or Brent Go's getting tagged, or your bigger people, and they're like, oh my God, I matter because Brent Go came and commented because I tagged him. Right? And so you're taking something that, yes, if you want to text them, great, do that. If you're not doing anything at all, just send a quick text. Okay. It takes 0 seconds. You can literally copy and paste the message to 10 people out, one at a time. And it would take you 5 minutes to get that done. But if you would spend, 30 minutes a week, just going into people's social media and recognizing them on their page, and even doing a quick video saying, hey, look at this rock star, right? whatever it is, that is going to mean so much more to them the next time they think about, or someone tries to recruit them and take them away from your organization. They're gonna think twice about it, because they're getting these touches from you, right? They're getting these recognition touches for the production. And we all know that there is no rev share without production.
Right.
So it brings the focus back to the production, as opposed to the only recognition I see for the most part on people's social media now is, hey, welcome to EXP, right? And then we never do anything after that. And so that makes it feel like all we care about is attraction. And so I wanted to just go deeper in the sense of, this is what makes or breaks a brokerage, is retention.
Mhm.
So if you really want to grow your rev share and you want to treat it like a business, retention has to be a part of that. And the recognition should be a very big part of that business plan. Because I watched it. I mean, Peggy, how many people do you think you've recruited in your lifetime?
Thousands.
Thousands. And yet you don't have thousands of people in your
Nope.
rev share organization. You didn't have thousands of people at KW when you were getting profit share, because you can't keep them. Because this is one of the hardest things about the real estate industry. And I think, especially if you haven't been a broker, agents don't necessarily realize how difficult it is for a broker to actually be profitable on an agent, because that cap goes towards a lot of expenses, right? There's a lot of staff, there's a lot of systems, there's a lot of technology. It can take years before you actually see profit on someone based on their production. And because you're only getting paid when somebody gets, produced, or gets a closing. And yes, you have a monthly bill, but that monthly bill is I promise you, no brokerage is making money off of your
Nope.
monthly, right? Like, if anything, they're not charging enough. Because I want y'all to think about this, okay? Think about the economy today, right? Everything is more expensive. Everything, right? Eggs are expensive, gas is expensive, homeowners insurance is expensive, electricity is more expensive. Everything is more expensive, right? That is what happens over time. Inflation is a natural part of the world, okay, and economy. Think about every other business that has increased their prices because their cost of goods has gone up, because it costs them more to produce, because payroll, cost of living, all of those things. Any other industry, any other business gets to raise their prices. When is the last time that you've heard of a real estate broker increasing their cap? When?
They take them away. I know
It's
brokerages take
so
them away.
rare. Exactly. Because the real estate industry is playing a zero-sum game. Because everyone is an independent broker or independent agent, right? Independent contractor. So you can pick up and leave whenever you want. And there's always going to be somewhere cheaper down the road that you can go to. And so brokerages don't get to increase their revenue. They have to add more people to increase their revenue. And that is an exhausting hamster wheel. It is so hard because it costs so much time, energy, and effort to get new people in. And so it's baffling to me, because this is another global standard in business, okay? It costs far more, usually double sometimes, to acquire a new customer than it does to increase the revenue from an existing customer in every other normal business, okay? So we don't get to increase the revenue necessarily. We can because we can focus our energy on production, right? But if you think about that, not a lot of people are necessarily doing that. And you could make double the amount of rev share from the same amount of people if you got them into production and made sure they were producing. However you do that, whether it's through a team or leads or training or whatever it is. But there's so many people that are just chasing. And I mean, all brokerages are chasing bodies because that's the only way they can increase their revenue, right? And so retention should be one of the number one priorities in your attraction business, in your brokerage within a brokerage that you own, that you didn't have to invest $1 in, a dime in to open. And think about, some brokerages, yeah, your franchise fee was only $25,000, $30,000, but you had to have $500,000 in the bank
Right.
in order to open that, right? So when you think about the scale of that, it doesn't take anything to do this within EXP, because that's the value of the platform, is that they took all the risk. They take on all of the hard stuff in, compliance and commissions and payments and training. I mean, all of those things are done for you. All you have to do is focus on the relationship and the retention. Get them here with the relationship and keep them here with the retention. And I know that sounds so basic to be like, oh, well, all you've said is to text somebody or post on their social media. But when you think about the times that we live in, and us being a virtual brokerage, this should be one of the top things that you're doing, because this is so important. How many times do you wake up and everybody's addicted to their phones and they immediately go into their, account and they're like, oh my God, I got tagged, right? What tagged in? Or, oh, somebody left me a comment. It's that dopamine hit. That's what everyone's looking for. And so you've got to find ways to stand out and be different. And that one thing of posting a quick video saying, congrats on your closing this month, congrats on somebody, them recruiting somebody in their downline, congrats on being FLQA, you mean the world to me, right? That is going to be far more ROI in your time than anything, because that relationship needs to be fed constantly. And it's one more way that you can do it, but you're taking it to the next level because you're doing it in front of everyone and they feel like they matter. What?
Ashley, you are touching on so many things. And if you're sitting here saying, well, I don't have anybody in my rev share, I want you to think outside the box. I want you to think about when you see agents at other companies that make sure you tag them. Do a video about how wonderful a co-broke was, because these other companies are struggling. And when you're in an individual office as a manager, team leader, whatever you want to call it, you don't even sometimes have the time to recognize your agents, and that they're going out the back door. So if you want to start to build a relationship, text that agent, post it on Facebook. You are so right, Ash.
I would say that's true even for your own production and your database, your sphere. Don't just send an email that says happy birthday, right? Don't just send them a text. Don't just call them. Go on their Facebook, make a quick video, and tag their besties or anybody else that knows them, whatever it is, because people want to feel seen. And so they're going to think far more if you're doing activities like that and posting on their Facebook, or even you can post on your own and tag them. And now they feel like, oh, I'm an important client. Like, they love me. I matter. I'm going to send them a referral because somebody asked me, yesterday or last week, and I totally forgot that they were still in the business, or whatever it is, right? You could do this same strategy. And this is just far more strategic than, oh, well, my CRM is sending emails, right? That's not enough anymore, guys. It's just not the same. And so, yes, I've been focused in talking on attraction and rev share, but that same strategy applies to your clients, right? And so it's going to get you far more, and they're going to think about that relationship, because people realize who's engaging with them and who's not, right? On social media, you go, oh, I haven't seen their the algorithm doesn't show you to them. And so, I go back to our sphere, and Peggy will probably know this better than I do, because I just delete that stuff. But What's your inner circle called? Is it just inner circle? And then you have your
Your wealth determiners, your influencers,
Yeah.
the people you hang out.
those 10 people, 5, 10 people, you should be doing something at least once a month on their social media to
Mhm.
where you're sharing a video, you're tagging them in a video, you're recognizing them for something in their life, whatever it is, because I promise you, you will start to see more referrals and more engagement from those inner circle, wealth determiners.
And when we talk about that, it's not just, it's your hairdressers, it's your dry cleaners, it's the restaurant that you go to. You're asking people to help you. Well, you've got to help them and make sure they know that you posted that too.
Yeah.
It's all building these relationships, guys. Ashley and I have run market centers offices. Retention, it didn't matter how many people we were bringing in. There wasn't a guard at the back door. And it's great for everyone to bring someone in. But Ashley, I just said, oh my God, there's someone in my first level who's capped, but I haven't actually picked up the phone. She's an icon.
Yeah.
Today, I'm committing to picking up the phone and calling her.
Yep.
We
So
all are guilty.
So if you go to your organization, right? I think Susan showed you this and talked about the productivity, right? Transactions per agent, the agents with the icon status. You click on this, it tells you who those 8 people are, okay? And so you can see, and their phone numbers are right there too. Let me see how, I think it's, trying to see how to, yeah, you just have to go all the way to the right. Yeah, icon. So icon and repeat icon. So yeah, do they get $16,000 from stock for being with with EXP as an icon? Right. So let me reorganize this. There we go. So here's the 8 people in this organization that are icons. They should have a system. This influencer, this sponsor should have a system that when someone reaches icon themselves, they spend $100 on something, right? Whether it's a gift card to a restaurant or something that says, hey, thank you for being here. Hey, I recognize you. You're in my organization. You're in my, second, third level, doesn't matter. And it could be scalable, right? If it's somebody in your 7th level, yeah, they matter. You get paid more on that level than you do any of the rest, but maybe, you don't know them as well. And so it's not as big of a gift, right? It's not as big of something. But think about everywhere else, there is no stock award. They're getting a baseball hat, they're getting a, piece of paper or a glass award or whatever. But again, we go back to the relationship. How can you connect and deepen that relationship? And so even if you sent them, it's something that they're interested in or whatever it is, like something small, and it can be a scale, right? If somebody just has, if they reach cap, it's a $5 Starbucks card. Hey, I just want to, I don't, it doesn't have to be huge. I'm not saying go out and spend thousands of dollars on people,
Right.
but it should be something from you that they feel like you took the time to recognize them, because they're not getting that. I mean, yes, they got that $16,000 in stock, and that is massive for an icon agent, right? But even just capping, think about that. Corporate's not recognizing the capper. I mean, that's like a post in workplace, not out to the outside world. They're not getting any recognition for capping. So that's where you have to put on that broker hat and say, I've got to put some, touch points in place and to have a system, even anniversaries and birthdays, right? You've got to have some sort of system that says, hey, I'm going to recognize somebody. And again, a scaling thing. When someone's been with you at EXP for 5 years, you should be shouting that from the rooftops, right? Because you've retained that relationship for 5 years and they've been there with you. That's massively valuable, right? And so historically you can go, hey, in the 5 years, your rev share has earned, call it $20,000 to you as the sponsor, whatever that amount is, right? So that's still, you could spend $100 in order to recognize somebody in 5 years. You know what I mean? Like, that's where I feel like people don't understand how important the relationship is. And so finding different ways and better ways, more strategic ways to engage with everyone, because we're virtual, because these organizations start to grow quickly. And that's the thing, if you do it now when you have 2 people or 5 people, it will be far easier for you to scale it and make it a system when you get to 50, when you get to 100, right? It's not, doesn't have to be complicated. You just have to do it. And that's where I feel like even some of the, I mean, I've worked with all of the alphas, love them, but they're not necessarily doing these things. And yet they're spinning their wheels going, oh my gosh, we're losing people, right? And retention's been hard for the last few years. So this is where the basics matter. And I see a lot of people who don't understand the value of those touch points and the relationship. And so anything that you can do to use this data that they've given to you, because they know that you are running a brokerage within a brokerage. This is your organization. These are your people. You have the relationship. You got them here. And so now you need to use the tools available to you to keep them here. And so that's what, to me, when I said to Peggy yesterday, you own this business. You have to treat it like a business. You have to treat it like it's your own brokerage, because that's how valuable it can be, right? You think about cash flow and how little it takes to, you know, get to, not little. I know how hard it is. I'm not saying that. Hold on one second. You know, $5,000 a month in rev share is the goal, or whatever that is, whatever it takes to get that. And why spend the time to get there if you're not going to take the time to make sure you can stay there, right? So that's my soapbox. Anybody have questions or want me to talk about?
I do.
some-
I have a question, Ashley. I think this is great. And Peggy, thank you for letting me hop in. I thought of this as soon as you were talking about, not forgetting who you bring in. I've noticed at workplace more than once that somebody will say, "Hey guys, I'm new here and I have a question about this." And I see that it's been seen by 86 people, but nobody comments. And I'm like, wait a second, they just joined and they're not getting support. So I'll go in and say, "Hey, welcome, and I'm sorry I don't know the answer to your question, but have you checked in with your broker, mentor, even whoever brought you in? Have you checked in?" I don't know how to guide in that sense yet, because I just felt bad nobody commented. It just blank. And I've been there where I ask a question, but I've been I try not to bother the usual people I go to, and I try to do workplace and get other people involved in my question. But if I get it answered, fine. If I don't, I go to Tanya or here. At least I have somewhere else to go. Whereas some people seem like they don't have any place to go, or they feel they have no place to go but workplace. And this brings it back to, like you said, if you bring somebody in, you have to provide some support. If they
Right.
have questions, they should know they can come to you ultimately. Like, you just don't abandon them, right? You don't make them feel like okay, now they're in, that's it. Now you're on your own. You- I mean, do we tell them, okay, you can go to workplace if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. What do you do to make sure your organization feels supported? Ashley or Peggy, what do you do if they have questions? Do you answer all of their questions, or do they, like these folks that are asking questions and nobody's coming to their rescue? I feel terrible.
I feel like if it's somebody that is just a random person and you want to comment because nobody else has, I think the most valuable thing that I would do in that situation is I would, look at their name and I would put them in a group chat with the concierge, right? And I would say, "Hey, this is probably the fastest way for you to get an answer. They may not know, but they'll connect you with the person who can." Right. And so tag them with whoever the support person is. Right. And it could be the main, I'd have to go look at the org chart to give you who that person is right now. But that's where I would start, is go, hey, go into the world, and go to the concierge and they can guide you, right? And
That's
or
good,
link
yeah.
them to something. The other thing that doesn't take very much time, and most states are really good about, is if you go just search like Texas on Workplace, right? You've got the Texas broker or whatever. All of the banners, and I literally just thought, I mean, I know what a banner is, but somebody gave me this answer the other day and I was like, what do you mean banners? What are you talking about? And she was talking about in the group on Workplace, the banner of the state has the state broker contact information. And so I literally just went and screenshotted that and sent it to the agent and said, here's the state broker. This is how the best way to reach them, right? Or you could do a group chat and put, if you know who the state broker is, then you could put them in a group chat in Workplace chat. And so I say that's what I would start with. I think that's the easiest things that, you know, don't take a lot of time. But I think that's again where another soapbox I know some of you have heard me talk about. There's a difference between broker onboarding and agent technology setup. And this is the biggest gap when people first join, because again, you're running a brokerage within a brokerage. Okay. EXP is onboarding that agent from a broker legal standpoint. They need a contract, an ICA, they need credit card information, they need, you know, account information, they need blah, 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 license. It's really mostly about the license, right? Getting the license transferred over so that people are covered, liability, right? And yes, they're getting them access to their email, or they're getting them access to and logins to KV Core and all that. They're not setting up that agent for success to guide them through how to use all those tools. And yes, they have videos for all of those things, but that's where they can't control, they can't force people to show up for that, right? And so that's where another system for you should be that agent technology setup gap, because that is again a deal breaker, because people will join and in less than 30 days they'll leave because they couldn't figure out the technology. Change is too hard, they're too, you know, inflexible or whatever. And so so I have someone that I use, and she's incredible with that gap. And so she has an agent onboarding checklist that you can spend $25 and she'll give you the checklist for all of the things that the agent should do on their own, right? To get their business and make sure they're successful. Or you can pay, I think it's like $135, and she will meet with them and guide them through and do that setup with them or for them. So that, because here's the thing, guys, it's just like, I mean, it's leverage. Is it worth it to spend $35 for you to make $5,000 on someone that just joined and they're going to cap this year? Hell yeah, I'd spend that in a heartbeat. And I don't want to know the answers to everything. She keeps up with all the changes, because that's the thing, guys. You're not the expert. You're not ever going to be the expert. You shouldn't want to. That's not the best use of your time. So having someone like that can fill the gap, and you go, hey, talk to so and so. They're going to help you get set up with all of those things. That is worth its weight in gold, because they know that you have to go. It just like with Leslie, right? How many nuggets does she give on KV Core? I can't possibly remember all of those things. That would have to be my full-time job if I did. And so just having that expert and leveraging it, yes, it's an investment, but again, that's a pretty damn good ROI. $135 for, you know, you pretty much guarantee you're going to get that $5,000 for the first year bonus, and then $1,400 every year after that. I would do that, especially on the front end, because they are so overwhelmed. They get 45, and that's the other thing she does. She literally tells them exactly which emails they need to go find from EXP because of the steps of the onboarding and all of that. Because a lot of the emails don't matter, and it's too many, And again, what did I say earlier? Only 17% of emails are getting read. So
Mhm.
half the time they're blowing you up going, I can't get into this. I don't have this, whatever. And it's like, you have it. It's in your email, you know, but you have to hold their hand. And so if I were to choose anything that I was going to spend money on, it would absolutely be someone to help onboard in my organization. And Jean has that, right? Jean has someone you can go to their website and say, hey, this person's onboarding or whatever, and they'll help support them. I don't know what all that does. And if it's any different than the person I'm talking about, it doesn't matter, but just find some sort of support like that, because it is absolutely worth it, because things constantly change. So even if you did take the time to to get some of it figured out, it's going to change. And
Right.
so it's a never ending battle to keep up with the most latest and greatest, right? So
I agree. I agree. The past 2 years, things have changed incredibly.
right.
Just me being here on my second year, I'm like, wow, I had to pivot so many times. And the difference is if you're an initiator, it's okay because you initiate, you investigate, you go in there. But there are some people that are not like that. They're more like, I need hand holding. So as I start my organization, I appreciate you and Peggy discussing this, because that's one of the things I've been seeing and observing, that a lot of the people that join are not getting full support. And I want to be supportive. What's the best way for me to be supportive as well as reward when they reach their milestones? So this is amazing and wonderful. Sorry, Peggy, you were going to say, I'm sorry.
No, I loved your comments, and I love that you jump in. And what I'm saying is, when you sit down and you think about, okay, I'm having a brokerage within a brokerage, and we talked about how much money you would have to have. When you're doing your business planning, if you can't afford $135 to invest in someone to be able to say, listen, I care about you and I want to make sure that your onboarding is smooth, I am hiring a private concierge for you. And I think you're talking about Jody, correct? Yeah, she is amazing, guys. How cool is that? That you've got someone walking them through each step. Yes, there are onboarding people in Jean's organization, and I love them and they do a great job. However, maybe you don't have access, maybe you don't have time to it, whatever it is, think of the resources. Think of all the resources that we just talked to you about today that you get for no charge to run your brokerage. And when you're talking to people, I don't know anything about what goes on behind the scenes. I mean, I've had multiple calls with Jonathan, who's coming in there from the Annapolis, Maryland area. And if he asks me questions about technology, I'm like, dude, I can help you on your business. I can help you on this. But we have the resources and the people who can do that for us. So yes, don't be afraid to say you own your own brokerage and you're running your own company and you've got the support. And don't worry, you don't have to have a lot of startup cash to do this. And honestly, if you really can't afford the $135, talk to one of us. We'll find a way to get someone to help you and do it for you. We never want money to hold you back. EXP University, you're absolutely right, is amazing as well. Does anybody have, I can't believe how fast this hour went. Does anybody have any questions that you are like, oh, where do I go for this, or anything we can research for you? Anything Ashley can research for you, let me just say that. Hey, I'm full disclosure here, guys.
Hey, Peggy, can you hear me?
Yes,
This is
hi, Peggy.
I'm driving. Did Ashley put the contact information for Jody in the chat?
I did not. I will. I'll put it in our workplace chat. Actually, I'll tag her.
Perfect. Yep.
Our group.
Very good.
She's
Okay.
amazing, guys. She's really amazing and has the patience of the saint. If she could be
does.
on the phone
She also does
for an hour and
work.
not hang up,
Yeah.
go for it. There was the other thing too. Ash, did you talk about, who talked about the video? Peggy. You talked about the video you watched 7 minutes into it?
Yes, Mike Del Preti.
Ash,
Oh.
can you put that in the chat too, please?
I will have
It's
to go.
literally, yeah, it's easy to find. Go into YouTube and look up Mike Del Preti.
Which video?
It's the one, it's called Propaganda. It just came out last week.
I got
Yeah,
it.
it's the very first one. Yep. And it's only 20 minutes and it's super entertaining. He is funny as can be. He's the kind of guy that I am super attracted to because he's a statistic guy, but makes it very entertaining, So not attracted like my husband, but Now he's very entertaining. So the 20 minutes goes by like nothing, but it will rock your world when you see the 7-minute mark of what EXP is doing compared to other agencies.
Spell his last name. What did you say? D as in David? Del?
DELPRETE. Yep.
Mike Del Preti, YouTube. Okay, cool.
Yep.
I just
Yeah,
put the link.
he's been at Build, he's been at EXPCon.
Yep.
Yeah, super, super open guy.
Well, I like him because he's agnostic. Like he really does just give you the data, and he's not, and it's just his opinion on, hey, EXP is great, or whatever he's talking about. But he is
Not only that,
third party agnostic.
Absolutely. I subscribe to Enman and I read it every morning, just like my Bible, but they are very, I don't want to say anti-EXP, but they are certainly not pro. Let's put it that way. So for him to stand on that stage last week and give those stats, it was huge, huge.
I got to run, guys. I have a hard stop today. It was good seeing y'all. I know I haven't been in as much, but I appreciate
you. I appreciate everyone on here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you want to come to the retreat, reach out to me. Dee Dee, have you gotten your dates yet?
No, we just got the graduation date, but I was just looking up, Peggy, I'm sorry, I was looking up the YouTube video. I think this is the one. Mike Del Preti, is called Propaganda, Peggy says.
Yes.
Open it up. Oh, she has it there already. Oh, okay, she got it. I'm
That's
sorry.
okay. You're great. I love where everybody.
It looks a little different. Okay, no, I just got the graduation date. So Peggy, bear with me. I know that if I have to book, I have to book fast. But yeah, we just got the graduation date yesterday.
That's
So
okay. Trust me, we'll make a place for you, even if we put a pull-out couch.
And I'm easy. I'm so easy. Just put me anywhere. Thank you so much.
You're
Pam,
welcome.
hi. I love that color on you and your eyeshadow and all that good stuff. You look so
You
cute.
look
What do you have today? Are you going somewhere?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
You look like
this is what I
oh,
wanted. I did shower though. Thank you.
oh, you look so cute. Like you're
She
gonna
just shows up like that. Unbelievable.
Oh, she's
No,
amazing. I love it. Those driving
But
drives. It's nice to see you.
retreat.
Well,
So, come again?
good. I am gonna.
Definitely come to the retreat.
Oh, yeah, I want to. Are you going to be there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh
And so
my
is Peggy
gosh.
Page, and so is Brad now.
Oh, Brad's going
Brad
too.
coming. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds so good. I must. Sounds fun. I know Pam went over. You were at Cabo as well. Pam, you made it there. You're like everywhere now. That's awesome. Well, we'll talk again, Peggy. I'll definitely keep you posted as soon as I learn. I will reach out to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thank you.
Be safe.
Bye, guys.
Peggy's like the mom. She never wants to leave. I don't like leaving.
Never
either.
want to leave. I'm the mom standing on the porch as you drive down the driveway, giving kisses.
Yeah, leave the nest,
Yeah.
guys. Bye.
Ciao.
Oh, back to you. Time to make the calls. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's see. I'm going to end this recording.